episode of Chatty Broads with Becca and Jess.
Blast off. Oh, that just like the foam top, the little foam kiss
Nice.
you get.
I wonder if people get grossed out by that. Like us doing this. We've been doing this now for so long that I don't ever think about the fact that like
The
I bet-
ASMR aspect of it.
yeah, and it's not necessarily like a hot thing. You know people do the like
Do it for me. Do it for me.
do what the drinking?
Just, you know.
Okay.
You hear it. Yeah, it's honestly soothing.
You like it?
It does. I do like it.
Is it because it like signals a good time's coming?
It definitely sounds like good times coming because it either sounds like a beer being sipped
Or a bong being
or
ripped?
a bong being ripped, you know. Both of which are soothing sounds, even though like at this point, your boy's not ripping bongs anymore. That's a surefire way
You're like
for
a
me to
joint
like,
guy.
yeah, that's a surefire way for me to lose vision for like probably like 12 seconds.
Wow.
Get maybe the cold sweats.
I have this guy I work with, good buddy. He is an amazing guy, but he gets grumpy. So literally he has next to him like a full-blown bong.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime he starts getting, I just go bong,
Bong
and then he
rips.
hits it, and then all of a sudden he's happy again. And I'm like, all right, if that's all it takes for some people, I'm a big fan. Like, hit it.
My friends and I were Bong Boys in high school. Like
No.
everyone I knew was right. Shocking.
What?
Shocking revelation.
The Bong Boys. That's got to
But
be like a
now-
weed company.
I can't. It should be right. We coined it. You heard it here
All right,
first,
hey,
ladies and
you
gentlemen.
guys can't take it.
But yeah, we were. Believe it or not, that was a big thing for us.
That's true. I feel like in high school, bongs were like everyone. It was like, oh, bongs. That
We
was like
went-
a very much. I don't hear about bongs. Or is it
When
just
we-
that we're not like 18 anymore?
I don't know. I think the culture's kind of shifted. That's my guess, at least. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm assuming this because now vape pens are like a whole thing, and
That's
like
true.
vaping.
Why
weed,
would you go through all that work?
It's so stealthy
Uh-huh.
versus like a bong is like a whole process and to do, and this
Sure.
thing you have to have. But like, dude, we had the carrying cases for them. We were all hiding them from our moms. Like,
Sure.
how do you hide that?
Well, I also like to have a case. Like it's like
No,
it's like
they were so funny, like these like sleeping bag cases for them.
well, there were like. Did you have like the nice ones? Because I remember going
Yes.
like smoke shops. They would like really amazing art with like I remember seeing ones with wizards and princesses, and it was just like insane.
Those were the low hanging fruit. Those were like you've smoked weed once, so you're buying that. The high quality stuff you wanted looked like lab material.
It looked like a
These
Bunsen
were
burner type
like
thing.
Erlenmeyer flasks. That's
Yeah.
like the triangular bottom.
Yeah.
That was really ideal for milking it. Or some people I knew, like the straight shooters. I was never really into that. There's not enough water. It just got gross way too fast to me.
Got it.
The real key was we were all into roars.
That's a
Roars,
brand.
German glass, the roars. Yeah. It was interesting. So we walked into, we were nerds on this shit.
You
So-
were weed nerds.
Big time. And I walked into a smoke shop with my friend to buy papers for, of all things, just rolling tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
But they had like a crazy ass bong display back there, and we were just walking through it. And I was like, I don't recognize any of the brands. Like when we were kids, it was like the Roar and Illadelph, that was the top shelf.
Okay.
And then there was like some subsidiary like local companies, but really like if you wanted international top shelf, top tier, high value brands, those were the two.
Those were the two.
Yeah, that was it. That was all there was.
Mm.
And that was like, I don't know, it was a simpler time. I mean, weed was illegal. You had
That's
to like
true.
get in the back of some sketchy ass dude's Suburban with like 4 of his friends, and you always thought you were going to get robbed or jumped.
Right.
And
Isn't it
then-
funny that you could sell that like it was illegal,
Mhm.
but you could go to a place and they sold everything you needed for that illegal
for
thing.
tobacco, Evan.
Right, yeah, because I know a lot of my friends were big. They would buy huge bongs for tobacco.
Yeah.
Like isn't it funny?
Oh, I need this vaporizer for my tobacco.
Yeah. I need this 8-foot bong, because tonight we're having a party and everyone's doing tobacco.
Actually, and you know what? My tolerance is so high. I need that attached to a gas mask.
Right, because I love smoking cigarettes, but I can't get enough cigarettes going.
It's too much oxygen, really. So I don't know. That was funny. That was just like a funny thing. I just like looking back on our youth, and I was talking to my friend. And I mean, when you're in it like that, nothing hits the same.
Yeah.
So you have to use the bong. And my friend was talking about, he's like, it finally took me smashing mine into pieces in the trash can to break the habit.
Wow.
Because he was like, I would throw it away and the next day he would pull it out of the trash can.
Sure. Again. I sympathize with that, by the way.
I understand
I'm a big, like, I could totally throw something away and just rip it out of the trash the next day.
So he's like, I literally had to shatter it in order to like stop myself.
And you're like, I'm so young and I'm broke, so I can't buy another one kind of situation. Dude. Are you pretty good at quitting stuff? Like let's
if
just
I
say,
make my mind up.
Like, let's just say you're like, I don't know. I've been eating gummy bears 24/7. It's gotten out of hand. But you're like super addicted to gummy bears, and you're like, all I eat is gummy bears. I feel sick all the time, but I want them so bad. Are you like I wean off the gummy bears, or are you like, oh, cold turkey and it's no problem?
Cold turkey.
And you can do it and it doesn't bother you?
It's not that it's no problem, but there's no middle ground. I don't believe in weaning off of things. That just feels like, what is that? Like, I don't know.
No, you're a jump in head first guy. Whatever it is.
Yeah, like I'll start slow, but if it's time to quit something, I'm just hard. Like, you just stop. You just got to stop it. Like cigarettes, that's how I was.
You just one day, boom.
Except my weaning was like,
Juuls or something.
No, because I quit smoking before any of that stuff. It was mostly just like, I had like, my mouth was just getting fucked up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my mouth was getting fucked up. I had to have a gum graft when I was like in my early 20s.
Because of how much you were smoking cigarettes?
It was a combo of
maybe
things.
You were susceptible to it.
I wasn't even smoking that much, to be honest. I wasn't like someone who smoked like an excessive amount of cigarettes. I probably had like 7 or 8 cigarettes a day.
Yeah, but that's like a decent amount. That's enough to like start doing stuff.
Well, and on top of like smoking weed, drinking.
Yeah,
that was like college days when like I was drinking hard alcohol more. And that was like, I had to go see a gum doctor, and he was like, he's like, honestly,
like, do you smoke it? No.
Well, he was actually like, the hard alcohol is actually far worse.
Interesting.
It was just like they were all working together to just basically not be
to make your life hell.
Yeah.
You're like, you got a great cocktail. So it was an
easy, like actually I had a very easy time quitting cigarettes because of that. And I stopped drinking hard alcohol for an extremely, like even now, like I don't really drink cocktails at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like I don't really like taking shots. Well, I really like the taste of like a good whiskey.
A good cocktail. Yeah.
Just a good, but like.
Well, dude, it's funny. I feel like my knee in the surgery is probably similar to the graft you had, where it's like, once something happens that's actually really scary, you're like, oh, I'm not going to do any stupid stuff that's going to cause my knee to have a problem ever again. No. Like, I'm never going to play basketball. I'm never going to be jumping on things. Like, I'm going to work my knee out. I'm going to be super safe. I'm going to take care of it because this sucked so bad. Versus like people that are like, I don't know, I've been doing all this crazy, like people who like party for 50 years. They're like, nothing really bad's happened, so like, why should I? Or like, I know I should stop, but there's not that like.
Yeah, and I firmly believe like our bodies are just different. Some people's
why can old like you can meet a grandma that's 106 and she's just ripping cigarettes
and like perfect teeth,
no problem,
and you're like, how?
And you go to the doctor, like, and they're like, perfect health.
I smoked for like 2 years and I like my gums went away. Like that makes no sense, you know. Or you have like friends where the people who like they start smoking and they become like a burnout,
right?
And then you have people who are like high level accountants
and they're
high doing math,
right?
And you're like,
it is weird. We're all different.
That is not the same. That is not how my brain operates.
The rules don't apply to everyone.
Those commercials where they showed like an egg frying.
Yeah,
that is my brain on drugs. I can't do high level math, you know. I'm good for cartoons.
I'm good for cartoons. I'm good for chilling. I'm good for some surf. By the way, can we talk about your surf trip?
My eyeballs are sunburned.
I was gonna say they look bloodshot. So either you've been hitting that bong again,
I have not. Actually, this is the longest time I've gone without smoking weed.
How long's it been?
Since I left for the trip.
Okay, so like a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's actually big to all of you who laughing at me, and that's a big deal.
I love that. You mean since you started smoking weed, that's the longest you've gone, would you say?
No, but like in recent years, that's probably the longest I've gone. Okay. But the trip was phenomenal, start to finish. It's the best. We were all saying it's the best surf trip we've ever had. We landed on 0 sleep. We left LA at midnight. We didn't sleep at all. And we just couldn't, fucking Volaris.
Oh, you flew Volaris?
Volaris is an airline you have to fly on because you just don't have options, but no one actually enjoys it.
I'm sure there was Delta or something, but it was like 3 times the price kind of thing.
The seats were like, this plane was from the 80s.
No, Volaris is like Spirit,
there was no
worse.
padding in this. I could like feel the metal underneath my seats, and they were like scratched up and the headset, you couldn't move the head thing at all. And you're just like squished in there. It's only like a 3.5 hour flight to Mexico City, but it was god awful.
Yeah, brutal.
And it's the worst customer service I've ever experienced.
Those are buses in the air. Those are public buses in the air. They're not looking to like make sure that you have the hors d'oeuvres you're interested in. My buddy
puts his foot down in certain occasions.
Like he gets real stubborn.
Yeah. So like we were in a row where it was like 3 people were in the row, and there was a row next to us. No one was in it.
Completely empty.
So he moves over there so we can just like have some space. And they go, sir, that is not your seat. The stewardess wants him to move really bad, and he's like, why? And she's like, that's not your assigned seat. And he goes, okay, but I'm uncomfortable in my assigned seat. No one's sitting here, so I'm just going to sit here. And she's like, no, sir, like you didn't pay for that seat. If you sit there, I'm going to have to pay for it.
What?
And my friend was just like, no, you're not. No, you're not. And she was like, yeah. And he speaks fluent Spanish. And at that point, he was just like, started talking to her in Spanish. He's like, no, you're not going to have to. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And all these people were just like, oh my God. And she was like, sir, you need to move. He's like, no, I don't. I'm going to sit right here. And he's like, I don't care if you don't like pay. I don't care if you don't sell me drinks, or I'm not going back. I'm sitting right here. That's bullshit. And just sat there for the rest of the flight. I fucking love being with him for that reason, because I'm like, that's how we just both get infuriated about those injustice.
Things. No, can I give a counterpoint?
Yeah.
I think the idea is that it keeps people from moving to whatever chair they want, because at the end of the day, like someone else would love to have sit there, but they can't.
But everyone knows once everyone gets on the plane, it's first come, first served to the open seat.
I agree.
If it's not first class, if you're not doing a class upgrade, who the fuck cares? Like, honestly, at the end of the day,
you snooze, you lose. You didn't get to that.
You didn't get to the open row, and you're not sleeping on the plane. That's your fault. That's your fault.
See, what I would have threatened him with was, you're gonna have to pay for that extra seat, and we're gonna charge your card.
Been like, how?
Well, your card already paid for this seat.
They don't know where you sit. They have to ask you for your ticket to be like, where's your assigned seat, sir? So
okay, so your friend,
and this isn't like a dig on flight stewardesses. This is a dig on Volaris staff.
Yeah, like obviously
it is the singular airline where I experience this almost every time I fly.
Well, she's clearly just trying to do her job,
which is to basically make everyone upset.
I don't think that's her job title.
It's maybe not, but it's sort of like the secret menu. You know what I mean? Like, okay. I consistently have a bad time flying Volaris, but it takes me to a place I really enjoy.
But so she probably isn't happy working for Volaris because she deals with your friend.
I will say they all look miserable.
Well, yeah, because they know that everyone's miserable. And then people are getting mad, so they're having to deal with customers who are unhappy.
I don't understand it. Yeah. I literally don't understand. It's because they're on like an old stinky plane that definitely people used to smoke cigarettes on.
Oh yeah.
Like every other airline wouldn't fly it, but you'd fly it on Volaris.
Right.
Okay, broads, interrupting the bros. So, you know those errands that you swear only take 5 minutes, but in actuality, from start to finish, it always takes way longer than that, and it eats the rest of your day or your time set aside for other tasks, and then you're behind, or suddenly your whole schedule is off? For me, that was always the post office. In theory, it should take 5 minutes, right? In and out, boom, boom. In actuality, driving there, in LA traffic no less, 15 minutes, finding parking, 5 minutes, standing in line at least 10 minutes. I mean, all said and done, a quote unquote 5-minute errand could end up taking closer to 45 minutes, which is why I don't go to the post office at all anymore. I use stamps.com.
I do not miss those post office days at all. When you start using stamps.com, it's an errand of the past because in an instant, you can do everything you would normally do at the post office from your home computer with a regular printer. You don't need any special equipment. You're able to compare different shipping carriers. You can find the best rates, delivery times, print labels, schedule pickups from your house. Even track your packages all the way through delivery. It's incredible.
Amazing. And if you plan on using stamps.com to help run your small business, which I highly recommend, stamps.com makes it even easier by integrating seamlessly with Shopify, Amazon, Etsy, eBay, and more. And don't forget, you'll even get access to savings you can't get at the post office, like up to 30% off USPS rates and 86% off UPS shipping rates.
That makes a huge difference.
It's huge. And especially if you're running your own small business.
Oh, you need it.
Massive.
Don't mail and ship the hard way. Sign up with stamps.com today. Sign up with promo code CHATTY for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts are necessary. Just go to stamps.com, click on the mic at the top of the homepage, enter code CHATTY.
Okay, so I'm freaking out over my hair. I'll be honest. It's never looked or felt better.
It really is stunning.
Thank you. I had the pixie cut for a while, which you never know I may go back to, and I loved it. But I wanted to do something new, and you all know my hair struggles. The only thing that helped grow my hair personally for me was Vegamore. Vegamore is unbelievable. And thank you to Vegamore because it's looking longer, it's growing, it's feeling stronger and healthier than I ever thought it could.
Yeah, so they take a total clean and vegan approach to hair health. They use a system of smart botanicals instead of harmful chemicals, and that promotes visibly thicker, fuller, healthier, longer looking hair without all of the other crap. And their entire collection is made totally cruelty free and without harmful chemicals, like I was saying, like parabens or hormones.
And if you're looking to add length and fullness like I'm currently, go with the Grow Revitalizing Shampoo and Conditioner Kit, which starts to increase hair strength and thickness from the roots down. The thing that I love is that you're not adding this like extra step to your routine, just shampoo and condition as you normally would. But with these products, it's the easiest way to stick to your routine and make sure that you get the results you're looking for. I'm loving what I've been seeing so far by using Vegamore, and I can't wait to see what it looks like in a few more weeks and even months.
Give your hair exactly what it's been craving with Vegamore. Go to vegamore.com/chatty and use code CHATTY to save 20% on your first order. That's spelled vegamor.com/chatty and use code CHATTY to save 20% at vegamore.com/chatty. I also am obsessed with their dry shampoo. Even if you're not interested, if you don't need a growth product in particular, the dry shampoo, it's like the only one I can find that doesn't have a bunch of toxins that make me feel like I'm choking when I use it.
It's incredible.
Love it.
Anyway, whatever. That was the bad part of the trip. The good part of the trip was everything other than the airplane.
Okay.
And our boards arrived safe, which I will say thank you to the baggage handlers for that.
Thank you to Valeris.
But from the moment we got off, we had our cab driver stop at this one wave called Barra de la Cruz, aka Barra. And
so you didn't even get to your destination. You stopped and surfed immediately.
Because it was good. And that's like you're lucky to get that wave.
Got it.
By yourself. That's a popular spot. And then we drove 2.5 hours down to where we were at, and we scored all day, every day. And there were specific.
Oh, so the waves are perfect every day.
Yeah. But where you're at, like some points, like you still have to like take all the factors into consideration. Tide, wind, swell, directions of all of these things all have to line up to make certain spots work. Our dude was just on it.
He knew
everywhere he was like, this is where we're going. We went and it was pristine. And he'd be like, we're only going to stay here for like this long. Then we're shifting gears and we're going over to this spot. One wave in particular is a really sought after wave called Chippewa. It's like one of the longest right-hand point breaks in the world. It's like 200 to 300 meters. We caught it for the only 2 to 3 hour window that entire week where it was connecting from the top of the point all the way to the bottom. And we surfed it with like maybe 6 other people. And I'm telling our wave count conservatively every day was 70s. We were surfing probably six hours a day. It was insane, dude.
Now, by day like 4, are you kind of like,
By day
I don't
4,
know
we
if I
had
want
gone.
to. I don't know if I want to surf today, kind of thing.
By day 4, we had gone to the pharmacy to buy Adderall to be able to continue surfing.
I was gonna say, I feel like, so with golf, I've never done surf trips like this, but I grew up surfing a little bit, and not like, I was never like super super good, but like I definitely was like an amateur surfer. I could go out and surf, whatever. But like I would have those days where you'd surf for 3-4 hours in a couple days in a row, and then by like day 3, I'm just kind of over surfing. Same with golf. I've gone on golf trips where it's like you do 2 a days, and then by like the 3rd day, you're kind of like, I don't think I want to golf today.
Well, it's like surfing's just so different than any other sport because there's something like so intimate between you and the ocean.
And every wave is completely new and
Every
different. So
wave
it's
is a
very like
unique
exhilarating that
thing
way.
that only you experience it. And so like it's a very passionate like sport.
Sure, no.
Like every sport is, but there's something so
It's
intrinsically
completely
unique
uncontrolled.
about that to me. Like in rock climbing, the climb doesn't change unless
It's
someone
right there.
breaks it.
Right, it's right there.
But like the rock doesn't just like come up a
Right.
certain time of the year.
Every day the
when
rock's
the
not a
wind
new
is,
formation.
When the wind is perfect and the moon is in a certain sort of alignment, which is what surfing is. That is literally that is exactly what it is. It's not an exaggeration. It's honestly an understatement.
And to add to your point, there's nothing, you're in water. I mean, you're riding a natural like occurrence. Like it really is like, I've told friends who'd never surfed before, like being in a barrel is one of the most, like you can't really experience
There's
anything
nothing like
that.
it.
It's like completely one of one.
There's also like, just because we scored at this time of the year, if I were to go next year, the same hurricane isn't going to be happening on the other side of the world, creating the same conditions. You know what I mean? It's like, it's once in a lifetime,
Right.
every wave.
Right.
And like, maybe that's a little too poetic for some, but that is what it is. So it was just very magical from start to finish. It felt like a dream, like a perfect
Amazing.
dream. I'm waiting for something awful to happen to me.
Because so it was that amazing for you.
It was that incredible.
Wow.
And then
Dude, that's amazing. Congrats.
Thank you. I mean, on our last 2 days, we were taking a boat out to like a really isolated spot. And like we were told there was going to be one other boat there when we pulled up, that they were going to be leaving at a certain time. And we pull up and do you know who Alex Nost is?
No.
He's a pro surfer from Costa Mesa, but he's there with a couple buddies. And we were like, no fucking way. And so we were like, do you mind if we like crash the party? And he's like, no, not at all. Like hop in the water. And we just like had a session with someone that we like
Look
follow
up to,
and like
yeah.
stylize, just be like, dude, like I want to surf like him. And he's in the water. So we were like, dude, we want to go back to that same spot the next day. And so we show up super early. We're the only boat out there. Our guide was talking to the charter service and he's like, look, like there technically isn't a boat available, but the people who were supposed to be on it yesterday never showed up and they booked it again for today. So like,
There's a chance they might not
no,
show
he
up.
just goes, so fuck them. I'm just not going to take them. You guys show up earlier and I'm just going to take you guys and there just isn't going to be a boat for them. Because that's how this shit is. And so like, we're like, sick. That's cool for us. So we get out there early. We're surfing like by ourselves, completely by ourselves for like 2 hours. And all of a sudden, like the wave starts really working. Like the morning sickness kind of got out of it. That's like when it's, it was kind of stormy the day before. So conditions just weren't as clean as they were supposed to be. But then it really started to clean up as the tide was dropping. And like 3 boats roll up. And we were like, motherfuckers, like who are these guys like coming in? It's like surfing's very...
and what's so special too, like when you like have when you have a place,
there's nothing,
and no one's around, and you just have this spot, and you're with your couple buddies, and you're just having that experience, and then all of a sudden someone comes in, you're like,
it's very territorial.
Well, you just feel like now that experience has been muddled down.
The bubble
I have to
popped.
fight for every little moment. It's like
it's not just you and the boys anymore, and the concern is really the vibes that these new people are going to bring into your situation. Yeah. It's really like being on drugs, and so. Anyway, these guys were like 3 boats, dude.
Like that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people to come into the point. One of the boats goes on shore and just starts unloading camera gear. And we're like,
That's serious.
What's going
That's
on
serious.
here? Alex Nost pulls back up.
Oh, cool.
And then all of a sudden we see this other dude and we're like, is that Mikey February? And we were like, just like,
That guy, by the way, Mikey February sounds like a fake person.
no, he
Hey,
is,
Mikey Februaries.
dude, he is style god. And we were just like,
Is this shortboard, longboard? What is this?
he does everything. He's just all these guys, they're not CT or like pro surfers.
Oh, they're more like
They're
Instagram
pro
dudes.
surfers. They're like, they are lifestyle.
Got it.
They're the Vans team. So the Vans team just showed up. And we were like, mm-hmm.
So you guys were fanboying big time.
We were playing it cool.
Right, but inside you were...
Freaking out. And they were just like, hey, do you guys mind? We're like, no.
Like they asked.
And we just like, they had the camera set up, dude, and we just seshed for like 4 hours. And the whole time we kept whispering to each other, like, dude, can you believe
This is
this?
happening.
And we were like talking about the mechanics together, like about this, like the takeoff was super tricky. Like it was this whole thing where we were like, I couldn't have asked for a capstone to like a better situation.
It was the perfect ending to the trip.
And then they were like, where are you guys going? When we had to leave, we're like, dude, we have a flight. They're like, oh shit.
They're like, we just come down here and stay down here for a limitless time.
We scored this window of swell where like it changed from 3 to 4 feet to like 5 to 7 for the entire 7-day period we were there. And on the 8th day, it was supposed to pick up to 8 to 12 feet.
And they're like, why would you leave?
For the rest of that week, it's supposed to be 8 to 12 feet. It's like right now. So they striked it down there through their sponsors just for that window.
Oh, God.
So we caught them all on their warm-up day. And so it was just like, dude, it was awesome. It was just awesome. And like, yeah, anyway, it was just incredible. And now I'm back to reality. And it doesn't feel like anything ever happened. And
Right.
I don't
You felt like you just woke up from a dream?
pretty much.
Wow.
And now I'm just like back into the regular swing of things. What I am pleased to say though is when we get to the recap, this week's episode I thought it was really good.
Sick.
I thought it was really good. I shed a tear in this
You
week's
shed a
episode.
tear.
I cried, dude.
Whoa.
I was in an emotional state. I'm like, I had such a positive experience and now I'm all like charged up.
Question to wrap that up. When you come back from a trip like that,
Yeah.
or any overly great experience, do you savor it to take into your life, or are you just sad you're not back there?
I think this is one you savor because it was like, I don't think I'll ever have a surf trip as consistent as that.
Like as just picture perfect.
The first time I went to Oaxaca was like the best surf trip I'd had. And that was with one of my buddies I was with and like a couple other friends. And we were there for 5 days and I think we surfed 3.
Got it.
So like, and that was an amazing surf trip.
Right.
And then like,
Well, this was 7 days straight every
and it wasn't
day.
like, oh, it was the conditions were good enough to surf. It was stand out conditions, like all you could ever ask for.
Right. When the stars align perfectly.
It was like fake. It didn't make sense. So it was just sort of like one of those things where like we were just saying like the whole time we were just like so grateful for
And then you're
whatever
just
the
eating
hell was
delicious
going
food
on.
at night.
Oh my God, dude. We were pigging out.
Yeah, because you were just working out for 7 hours.
We were pigging
Dude,
out.
that sounds amazing. Well,
It was
congrats
so
on an
fun.
amazing
Thank
trip.
you. Thank you. Yeah.
I didn't go to Oaxaca. So I was working.
You were in the doctor's office, I saw.
No. PT, physical therapy.
PT, there we go. Yeah.
I go a couple times a week. Dude, look at this. Are you seeing this? Are you
It's
seeing this
normal.
mobility right now, you guys? Look at this. That's hard work and dedication right there.
You
if
look
you
like
don't
a
see on the video.
dancer.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at that flexibility, you guys.
Oh, actually, you want to hear something funny? Did I tell
Yeah.
you about this?
Nope.
I showed up to the PT office the first time. Not the first time, but I went to this new place. It's like a sports place. Every time I go in there, I don't know much about like pro athletes in regards to like who's hot right now or who's what. But every time I go in there, there's just people that look like they're professional athletes, like dudes who look like Vikings, people that are 6'6", huge. So it's like a very high level sports place, whatever. And they're just me, walking in like not even in shape, whatever. Anyway, so I had this trainer, PT lady, and she's like 30 years in the business, whatever. So she's like, I want to start with just a bit of stretching and just going to see where you're at. So she lays me on my back, gives me a belt, okay? Puts it around my foot, pulls it back, and I stop when I can't go anymore. She's like, okay, go ahead and start. When I'm at my max. Okay. So
Yeah,
she
you can
thinks
start. You can start now.
No, she literally thinks I'm just kind of like adjusting the strap, and I'm like,
We're there.
We're done. And she starts busting out laughing in my face. She couldn't. She figured I was joking of how bad it was. She was just like, stop. All right, go ahead. And I'm like, I'm not kidding. And she was like, oh my God, you need to stretch more. Like, she literally like said that right to my face.
I
Like,
love doctors like that.
she couldn't believe it. She was just like, are you kidding?
There's nothing I love more than like a doctor like that who's
Just
just like,
roasted me.
it's the best.
Roasted me.
Because then I'll listen to them.
No, you trust them. They're like, it's kind of like, you know what I equate that to the server at the restaurant that goes, don't get the meatballs, they're trash.
I
You're
appreciate
immediately
it.
like, oh, okay, you're not just trying to sub me the most expensive
thank
thing.
you.
They're like, you know what's good? The surf and turf. And you're like, obviously, because it's the most expensive thing on
Every
the
time.
menu. You know what I
Every
mean?
time I
You know what
point
else
that
is really
out.
good? The tomahawk steak. You're like, of course it is. But when someone goes like, honestly, the tomahawk steak's overpriced, not that good. Then you're like, I trust you.
And you're like, I'd go ribeye. And you're like, really?
Really? God, tell me
Well,
more.
I think I'll go tomahawk.
I think now I don't trust you. You're just playing with them now?
You just, you want to, it's like, I just appreciate the honesty of it.
Oh, she
But
just roasted me. Dude.
I love that, especially when you're dealing with health, because it's like, what am I, are you kidding? Like,
Right, we
like,
all
you
know we're lying to each other
I
here.
know I'm a piece of shit. I'm like, when I go to the doctor and they're like, oh, you're in like peak, but it's like, no, come on. Like, seriously? It's like going to the dentist and they're like, do you floss? And you're like, and they're just like, okay, you need to start.
You're like, if I say no, will it be reported back to my insurance?
or people who floss like the day before they go to and they just walk into the dentist and gums bleeding
Yeah,
already.
they're like, I floss. See, they're like,
Yeah.
no proof. You want to get into this episode?
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Week 6. I mean, we start with the demise of Nate.
That's why I cried.
You cried.
I was crying when Gabby was crying. It hit me so hard.
The way she cries makes you cry. I get that.
Well,
I felt the emotions of it.
And
big
it
time.
was so, she was trying not to the whole time. She was really trying to just like get her words out. And it wasn't like to showcase how much she felt for him. It was like super real. And I was like, I was also getting really upset with Nate because I was like, why are you not fighting for her? Why are you just accepting this?
What was interesting, she had the type of cry that was, like you said, she wasn't emotional. She was sobbing. Because it was and I just want to tell you. It was like,
But
you know, when you're
was like-
crying so hard you can't even breathe.
She was really trying not to break down,
Yeah,
and
she
she
was
was like just
and
holding it, and
I-
just like really trying to just be like, that's not what she wanted to do, and
Yes.
like,
and she cried immediately. Did you notice this?
Em-
And she's like, I just wanted to tell you that. And it's like, oh my God, dude. She started sobbing
his
immediately.
face, dude. He was like, what the hell
see
is
the
going
panic?
on? Yeah,
He had, I will say this, that was a true face of surprise.
mm-hmm.
Like, he couldn't believe it. He was just like, you know, a lot of guys get
Well, because they
get
were
in that-
literally having. She's like, let's sit on this park bench right here, and he's like, yeah, and then she's like, oh, okay. He's like, what the fuck? Like, what's happening?
There was she doesn't have a build up with the cry. She's like, hey, I just wonder if we could sit over here and you're like, oh, what?
But so I just
You could tell
got-
she was holding it in and it just burst out.
I
Okay,
think
back
I
to the
think how he
fighting thing.
handled himself was like he did a good job as always, but I was really upset that she was giving him all of the fuel to fight back and he didn't do it once. And it to me I thought like maybe he was thinking about it of like what are the rules on this? Like is he going to look like an asshole if he's like no, like you don't want to actually do that. Like is that like coerced, like, you know, but to me, I was like, when she said like, and I know that if I meet her, I'm going to fall in love with her. I wanted to like scream at them and just be like, you are so afraid right now because you have no idea what it's going to be like. But that's not a reason to not do something. If anything, that's just a reason to keep him on through hometowns so you can experience that side of yourself, because I think she's so afraid of that because she's so traumatized by her relationship with her mom that she's like, doesn't think that she could be a good mom. And it's like, that's not a reason to not try. That's not a reason to not see the, like, hometowns is still, it's not like if you go to hometowns with Nate, you guys are guaranteed to get married. It's more just like, dude, like, and that's what I was just really upset with him for, not just being like,
talking her
we
through
don't
it.
have to do this. It doesn't have to be like that. Your fears aren't a reality yet. None of that is happening. None of that is happening yet.
Okay.
So why are we going to stop this right now?
I understand. Here's my counterpoint. I understand him not fighting for it because I understood. Like, to me, I thought it was brave of her to be like, because I think there is levels of like, yes, traumatized by her mother, fearful of the love, fearful of being a bad mom or whatever, all that fear. But I do also understand being like, I don't even love someone yet, and to think about raising a child, like, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not in that window yet. Like, I'm not divorced and have a child of my own, so I know what the whole process, like, I don't even have a boyfriend yet, and I'm not even in the world of like raising children. So like, I understand that level for her being like, deep down, I know I'm not looking to be a mom right now. I'm just looking for someone to love. And then on his end, like, I was kind of putting myself in his place, and I go, to be honest with you, if I was falling for someone and they voiced this to me, I would probably go, you know what? Thank you for telling me. I'm not in the business of trying to convince someone to be in a relationship with me because I have a kid, because I know how hard it is to like raise a child. I just know that it would be really hard over time once actually things get hard to like, that's all I'm saying.
But
is like, I understand both ends there.
Both me and you were surprised to become dads.
Yes, but we were already in a loving relationship. It was our child.
You were?
Well, yes. Okay. You're right.
I sure shit wasn't.
You're right. But at the same time, it's your child. So there was a level of like, you then did the responsible thing to step into your fatherly role, where she's like, the kid's already 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm now just doing this basically because I've never even met the child, for the love of this person. So you know what I'm saying? Like, if you and Becca wouldn't have stayed together, you still would have been in your child's life.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. When you choose to be with someone like that, you're choosing the child. That's all I'm saying.
I have two friends, two of my best friends. One of them who was on this trip with.
Yeah.
His, well, we'll just call her his wife. She's still married to her previous husband. She has 3 kids from previous relationships that he'd helped take on.
Right.
And now they have a 4th kid together. At the time when she had 3 kids, dude, they started dating when we were like 25.
Okay, so they've been together a long time.
He was just, he took that shit on. But
he was down.
In a way. I mean, he was being like, their dads are going to be more involved than he thought.
That he was aware of.
Yeah, I mean, really, like, he's taken on a ton of it. Granted, like, their dads are great, but like...
But did he have to be convinced?
I mean, I spent a lot of time trying to tell him that this was all a bad idea.
Right.
Because I was like, bro, what the hell about our lives right now?
And I'm not saying it's a good or bad idea. I'm more saying that, like, if one person's saying I'm not ready for this, I understand Nate being like, I'm looking for someone who is ready.
But it pushes you in anyway, whatever. I understand what you're saying. I'm just like, I have multiple friends who have
this situation.
Done this situation. My friend who just recently got engaged, bravissimo, Matt guy.
What's up,
to his lady, she has a kid from a previous thing, and he spent a long time in turmoil over like if he even wanted to take that responsibility on, because it's it's
a lot. Yeah, of course.
It's a ton. But so
you gotta be serious about it.
I was just, I mean, yes, but you discover aspects of yourself when you're just willing to face the fears. And so I was just extremely mad for like the obvious feelings they have for each other that my favorite couple of the show was being torn apart, and Nate wasn't fighting for her, and it was the only time that I've been upset with him the whole show. And so I was very my tears turned to anger at that.
Blood rage.
And now we'll move on because I'm too emotionally attached to the situation.
And it's dead, so I can't talk about it
And
anymore.
now it's done, dead and gone. And that's
Yeah,
it.
I looked at it like it's a tough one. But I agree with you. There is a fighting. You know, you could have gone like, I'm telling you right now, don't run from this, blah, blah, blah. But I definitely understand him also being like, thanks for telling me now, because I'm not here to convince you.
No, it's what I said.
You know what I mean?
I think he did a great job what he did. I wanted to see him fight.
Because I was thinking to myself, okay, let's say me and Jess broke up and I have Ember, whatever. And then I'm like seeing this girl and she's just like, I'm not ready to be a mom. I'd be like, I am not spending a lot of time here to try to convince you. Like, this is a lot of work. You need to be like ready for this.
When you put it like that, it'd be like, there's the door.
Right? That's what I'm saying. It could be a little offensive. Or
it's right there. What are you still doing
And
here?
I thought it was so mature of her to be like, I'm mad for this guy. I absolutely am falling in love with him, but I know myself and I'm not ready for that.
Well, yeah,
so it felt like they both handled it really well.
I just think, I remember when I was like thinking of myself where I was like, I don't look at myself as being ready for a relationship. Therefore, I'm not relationship material. Where it was like, no, like just
let alone father material.
Accepting being in a relationship is how you become relationship material. Just navigating it. Going through it is how you become.
Also, what is relationship material? Because everybody's relationship's different. So the material for you,
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, there's people.
This is why I'm like, what was I even like?
You mean like you have a great job and you're responsible? Like, what is it? That means your marriage is gonna last because you have a good job and you wake up early in the morning and you go to the gym. Like, we all know that doesn't matter. Everyone's relationship's different.
That's kind of
that's your point.
So anyway, whatever.
Okay.
Like we said, it's dead and gone. Another topic I want to discuss is that they are in Amsterdam and no one seems to talk about what Amsterdam is known for.
Cheese.
Yeah, apparently Amsterdam is known
Cheese,
for
rivers.
cheese and tulips.
Cheese, tulips, and rivers. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about because that's all anyone ever has known Amsterdam for.
Bikes.
Bicycling.
A lot of bicycling.
Cheese and tulips.
Yeah.
And the canals, and that's all.
That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, that's what Amsterdam
And
is
I've heard Amsterdam has some like experimental housing that's like on the water.
Pretty
which
cool
is interesting.
architecture. They're like, some of the houses are like, they're leaning, but then the windows are like straight, but like the houses are all leaning on each other.
So you're talking about
really
that no one was
cute.
bringing up about like the leaning houses?
Yeah, no one talked about the architecture.
Yeah.
And that was really disappointing.
Because that's why a bunch of 20-year-olds go to Amsterdam.
Or the public park spaces where people gather.
Because I remember growing up and being like, oh, all the 20-year-olds want to go to Amsterdam because of the bicycling and the canals.
And honestly, the cafe culture.
It is very chill. Like
There's
a cappuccino,
really
hang
chill
out.
cafe culture there. There wasn't a mention about any of this.
No one touched on any of this stuff.
No. I was just like, are we seriously going to be here and not bring up any of this? Granted, they did do the dominatrix thing, which was like,
yeah, they were kind of
okay.
hinting at some stuff there. The whipping.
But I was like, are we really like ABC? Like, you're not going to show like, oh, we're not going to show any of the red light district. We're not going to show like
any weed stuff.
Even though it's legal.
Yeah, but I guess it's censorship. It's still
not
Americans.
Even the fact that it's legal.
No,
there,
but it doesn't matter. It's
legal
Americans
here.
What is?
Weed.
Oh, but I still no, but it's not federally, isn't it? It's just state. So I still think on TV you can't even say smoked weed. You can't show weed. You can't do any of that stuff. So like they have to be able to do that. Like they can't show a joint. One thing I will tell you, and you know this too, working, like your dad's in TV, I work in music behind the scenes with a lot of people. We do know that the crew
is chiefing
was
down.
Absolutely going to those cafes and getting
1,000%
blasted on day off.
1,000%.
The crew was going crazy.
They're getting high quality hash. Because that's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. You do not go to Amsterdam for weed. You don't go for flower weed. California, Oregon, Washington. That's the best weed in the entire world.
Okay.
You don't go to Europe and smoke marijuana. You go to Europe and you buy hash. It's a hash culture.
Got it.
And it's the fucking best hash in the world.
Got it.
Moroccan hash. That's what you want.
All right.
You don't
Tell
want bubble bag, none of that bullshit.
You
That's
don't
what
want
we
bubble
get
baths.
here. Bubble bag.
Sorry, bubble bag.
Yeah, you don't want that. You want Moroccan hash.
That's what you want.
That's what you want, ladies and gentlemen.
I've always said that.
And you get I know.
I only told you about it.
I'm stealing the words out of your mouth.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
apologize. But that's what you want. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm just like, also, dude, mushrooms are everywhere there.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Is
just
that legal? Oh
surprised.
yeah, mushrooms are
Where
legal
did they go in the city? They had to go out. They had to get out of the city center
to avoid those
to
things.
go to places where people actually like live in Amsterdam, because if you're in the city center, it's everywhere.
It was funny when they were on that date, and it was just like, the tulips here I've heard are beautiful.
Dude, then there's no tulips anywhere even
Like,
near Amsterdam.
when I was in Amsterdam, I don't remember tulips.
You have to drive so far out of like, that's a Netherlands thing. That's like
the Dutch.
Yes, that's the country that like, yes,
Right.
it's there, but like Amsterdam sure shit.
I've never heard someone go, oh, we're going to go over to Amsterdam because the tulips are
Things
wild.
Amsterdam is known for that aren't mushrooms and weed is Anne Frank.
Right.
And then the second one is the Van Gogh Museum.
Yes.
Which I was like, why didn't they go to the Van Gogh
I know
Museum
there's a
and
couple,
look
like,
at art?
There could have
You
been
know what it is?
some
The Bachelor's so cheap. They would have had to rent out the Van Gogh Museum,
Yeah.
which is like a massive tourist attraction.
Sure.
So they just like
They
weren't
couldn't
going
do
to
that.
pull it off.
But
It's
they
like,
could have done like something in front of it.
it's like going to Paris and they don't go to the Louvre. They don't even go to where the fucking glass domes are. They
don't
just
go to
like,
the Arc de Triomphe.
they go to a bench.
And they're like, this is some weird place. in
They didn't
Paris.
even rent bicycles.
I know. No one biked around.
So anyway, those are things. These were things I really needed to clear. Both Evan and I needed to clear the air
There's been cleared.
on that.
Okay, broads, one more interruption. So, at the end of a long day, sometimes you just need to wind down. We all know that feeling, right? Your to-do list was somehow longer at the end of the day than it was at the beginning of the day. Every single thing that could go wrong did go wrong. Your boss woke up on the wrong side of the bed. You just need something to take the edge off. When I have days like that and need to relax, I have been loving the gummies from Delta Munchies lately. So I have to tell you, broads, about them because I hope you love them too, especially if you've tried other cannabis products and haven't been a huge fan.
Yeah, and so the reason why is because Delta Munchies is making a whole line of products with an entirely new cannabinoid. It's called HHC. So if you've tried THC before and you maybe found it to be way too much for you, and then you tried CBD products and they just didn't cut it, maybe try the HHC products from Delta Munchies, because it has a psychoactive property in it. So it does give you a little cerebral, relaxing body experience, but it's in a reduced level compared to THC products. So it's just a relaxing experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Delta Munchies products are legal in all 50 states and can be purchased online and shipped right to your door. They have pens, tinctures, and my personal favorite, the gummies. When CBD alone just isn't cutting it for me, I take a bite of my Delta Munchies gummy and I get that relaxing euphoria.
Delta Munchies is revolutionizing the way you find relief, and they even ship straight to your door for free, so you can skip the line at the dispensary altogether. You can shop online at deltamunchies.com and use code CHATTY20 for 20% off your first order. Again, that's deltamunchies.com. Use code CHATTY20 for 20% off your whole order.
Okay, Rachel and Zach date. I feel like their date should have just
I
said
mean,
like
Barbie and Ken.
yeah, but I feel like their date should have said like brought to you by Breyers vanilla
Right.
bean ice cream, because they're just so like down the middle, but they're kind of like
White people. Just like down there, just like Hallmark white people.
they're so
Thank you.
they're very hallmarky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like brought to you by mayonnaise,
They're
mayonnaise
like-
and cheese sandwiches.
They're like a 1950s Coca-Cola Christmas commercial.
They really are. They're just like, isn't it wonderful here? And he's like, golly gee, it is.
Yeah. It's like
Dun, 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 dun.
Pleasantville before
It's-
sex gets introduced.
What do you call what's the like the Stepford? Remember that whole like thing where like everybody's robots and shit? Like they're really like sweet, but they're definitely like just everything's perfect. Pleasantville, 100%. But dude, I will say this about him: he loves her.
Totally.
Like I don't think I've ever seen someone on these dates Usually people are trying to kind of play a game a little bit. You know, like the normal dating game. Like, I don't want to give it all away. I'm trying to build a little suspense. He's just like, I love you. I want you to meet my parents. We're going to get married. You say when.
Yeah.
Like, he's not doing any sort of, I'm trying to build some suspense.
She's got him in the back pocket. And she's
like,
that.
Okay, cool. He's good to go. I got him ready. Let's see what's going on.
He can sit on the back burner. And she's just got to fuel out the other guys that are.
But they seem madly connected.
Now, of the other guys, Cheese Date, who constantly surprises me, is Babyface Tyler.
I keep thinking he's gone.
The dude's got guns.
He's jacked. He looked like a superhero, and he was out first.
Tino was like, dude, all these other guys obviously work out.
He's like, but I have heart. But that was pure will.
Pure will.
I mean, everyone else had like 6-pack abs, chest, everything, and he was just like, I will not lose.
Yeah.
This cheese contest.
They're the poor guy who's like, I am lactose intolerant.
He's like, but because she likes cheese today, I guess I like cheese.
And that for me was where I'm like, no, dude, stand your ground and just be like, I'm actually lactose intolerant. So like, are we going to eat cheese or like, what are we doing with
just
the cheese?
doing cheese competition?
Because if we're eating it, like for everybody's sake, get me some Lactaid pills.
Yes.
Pronto.
Can I get some, or can I do vegan cheese?
Which is something like I would be like, yeah, stand out. That's a great move. Because I will say like the biggest mistake you can make on first dates is to be too agreeable.
Yeah, to just be, whatever you want. Oh, where do you want to go? Oh, you like this? You like this? Yeah.
It'd be like, oh, actually, no, like I'm actually allergic to cheese. You can order it all you want. It doesn't bother me. But for everyone's sake, I should not be fed the milk stuff.
Or like, you want to go here for dinner? Like, I think that place is really good.
Actually, that place sucks. I
And
don't
then
like it at all.
like,
really, it's my favorite. Oh, why?
whatever you want.
Yeah, and that's conflict is sexy.
Conflict is a little sexy.
And there's nothing sexier than lactose intolerant conflict.
There's nothing hotter than on a date telling someone you're going to be shooting diarrhea out if you eat that. They love that. People love hearing about that.
Actually, do you know what death smells like? Because if you want that, I can eat that cheese if that's what you like.
Would you like to hear me have apocalyptic sounds in your bathroom when you get to your place?
If you want to hear abnormal noises coming from my gut, like
do you know that comedian Sebastian Maniscalco? He's a kind of Italian style guy, but he talks about how on his first date with his wife, like she's like they went to an Italian place and she ordered like tiramisu or something, but he's lactose intolerant. And he's like, I just ate it, just stomach it. And he's like, I would like go to, and he's like, how's that her place? And we were about to hook up. He's like, hey, restroom real quick. And he's like farting in her towels. Like to not make the sound. And he's just like
I saw this meme of a dude like just like that giant...
lactose has to be the worst thing. I'm not lactose, but I can't imagine having like brutal stomach pain. Dude, those early days when you're like terrified to do anything like that in front of someone is so anxious. It's so much anxiety. At
this point, I have to remember not to fart in public.
Are you a farter in front of her? Like, do you just rip huge farts?
I have absolutely no
qualms,
reservations whatsoever about passing gas. And it's to the point where, like, I have almost no reservations about a lot of things I should probably have reservations about. Now, will you have the couple that, like,
poops in front of each other while you're talking?
No.
Okay.
No, but like, if I'm itchy, I itch.
Your butt? What do you mean itch?
Whatever, dude. Anything that itches...
will be itched.
I will itch it. And I will be working the front desk, talking to someone mid-conversation and be like, oh yeah, I'm not supposed to do that.
Right, because you get too comfortable.
I'm just used to like working, like, you know, I'm just used to existing in like a very informal state.
Got it.
And so it's just like not...
Yeah.
To me, this is what the lockdown did to me. This is my thing post-lockdown is all of my, you know, things that we're supposed to do for all my manners are just totally gone.
You know what the lockdown did to me?
What?
Shorts.
You like shorts now?
Big shorts guy.
I love shorts.
I used to be a shorts guy when I was young. And then I was like a black, you know, I was in music, black jeans guy for like...
Yeah, what is that about music and just black stuff all the time?
It's kind of like uniform, you know. It's like it's style mixed with like, you know, whatever you're doing, and like, you know, there's kind of a general vibe to what genre of music you're in. Blah blah. Anyway, the pandemic put me back in shorts. Now I will say this: I don't think Jess appreciates one thing about my fashion now.
Okay.
Biggest problem with my fashion now is that I wear the same thing all the time. And I need to kind of start like shifting it. Jess will be like, Jess is really sweet. She actually never says it. But I'll see the look.
But she's like fashion.
But she's like fashionista. But like I'll come out and she'll give me the look and be like, and you just catch it, and it's like, I'm sorry, I'm wearing the same thing again.
Becca can't even have the conversation with me.
What do you mean?
She'll just be like, I'll just be like, because I have this, and then I have suits.
Right. They're very different.
So she'll just be like, it's date night. I'll be like, great, and I just basically like have what I have, and I'll just like put on pants. I'll just be like, all right, I'm ready to go.
And she's like, again?
Just whatever. It's just like what I'll wear a sweatshirt and a hat and just be like, cool, I'm ready. It's a nice sweatshirt.
Right.
I don't understand what the problem is. I look nice. She'll be like, you look nice for like a 15-year-old.
Right. My thing is I can dress up because I still have some cool clothes. It's the day-to-day that's the problem for me. So if we have a date night, I can turn it on because I have some cool clothes. But the problem is the day-to-day where it's like I've worn the same shorts for a month. I've worn the same shoes for a month. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a little bit like, okay, Evan, like, let's not do this again and again. And it's time for me to change, you guys.
One of the saddest parts of the surf trip was that my Chatty Bros tie-dye got ripped off me in the water.
Oh, you were wearing a shirt in the water? It was like a rash guard?
Yeah.
Like a rash guard,
I don't want to wear a rash guard. It's like rash guards.
Unless you're a pro surfer, that's kind of gnarly.
Rash guards for boogie boarders.
Right.
I was wearing...
Pro surfers and boogie boarders.
Yeah, and only in competition.
Right.
It's like no one just wears a rash guard.
Right.
You wear a t-shirt. But I had the tie-dyed Chatty Bros shirt on, and I got just worked. And it literally...
ripped off you.
The force of me just cartwheeling on the floor of the...
Because you ate it?
Yeah, we were on like this sand. It was like a sand break, like it was a beach break, just like
a bar
barreling right on where it broke. Like
Sure,
it was breaking onto like 2 feet of water.
That's what causes the barrel,
Just
right? It's
heavy.
just like yeah.
And I was just in the washing machine, and it fully ripped my shirt off my body, and I was just like, how did that happen?
You went in with a shirt, you came out with no shirt.
I've never had that happen, and I was like, all the shirts too. I was like, it was such a sick shirt to be surfing.
But why would you be? Oh, it was a sick. You should have taken. Did you take a picture in it? You should have taken a picture in it.
Dude, I don't even know. We were like,
did you bring any like water cameras to like?
No. Dude,
is that corny or is that just bad?
The guys
that would have been sick. You should have taken some stuff.
We were literally like, oh, this would be a cool photo idea.
No one had anything. No
throw me a beer.
GoPro, not even a GoPro, nothing.
We were more concerned about like,
where's the beer?
Where's the beer? Do we have beer? Where is it? And then about anything else. And I think we were like, we talked about some photo ideas and then we just like, we just didn't do it.
Right.
I don't know. We talked about so many photo ideas.
And then never had
And we talked about a lot of ideas for the guy to take photos to advertise his thing, but we sure shit weren't going to take them.
All right, let's jump back in.
Yeah.
We got distracted. I want to talk about Tino.
Baby back bitch.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby, baby. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, bitch.
In barbecue sauce.
No chilies, baby back, bitch.
In
Barbecue sauce. By the way,
good. You have range, Evan.
I mean,
you have the low notes. You have my low notes. I go and barbecue sauce. Like I don't really have
barbecue sauce.
Yeah, you have it. I've got the but I don't.
Okay, let's talk about this. First of all, before we get into Tino, what is a baby back bitch? Can someone explain that to me?
I don't know, but it's funny.
I don't know what that term is.
It was really funny though when he said
it was like it's one thing to use it as a funny term. To be like, if you were like, stop being a baby back bitch. Ha 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 ha. But to be like, dude, what's with Tino? He's being a baby back bitch. It's like, what?
It's kind of out of pocket.
It's out of pocket entirely, bro. I would say it's equivalent to like being if he would have been like, dude, Tino's being such a butt face.
I really wish that was what they had said. Yeah, I don't know. He's being a little bit of a butt face.
Like, what's with Tino? He's like a total butthole right now. It's like, what?
I love when people say
baby back bitch.
It's so funny to me.
That's
but
one of
also
one.
like, what was he crying about? I just don't get it. Like,
What do you mean, Tyler?
Tino,
Okay.
what's the deal? Like, okay, you won the cheese contest, so that means Rachel's
No.
supposed to like you
No, he didn't get the rose.
for winning the cheese.
Okay, but we saw this last week too
Mm-hmm.
with Tino. You remember when she canceled the group date
Uh-huh.
because of the Logan situation? He goes, do you remember what he said to her during their kind of like,
Oh, he went up to her and he was like really
goes,
upset about it.
no, he goes, the fact that you canceled the group date made me feel very unseen. That's right. And she's like, oh. And then he gets her to be like, gets her to be like, thank you. I look, yeah, sure, insecurity, definitely. I look at him as like, we see this with a couple guys every time. It's the, wait, you said no to me? That's on you thing. That's what's going on right now. Like, Tino's straight up that guy who's like, listen, I won the contest. He even said during the episode, I hit every point. I don't know why I didn't get the rose. Like, he's like, what more do you want? I'm good looking. I'm cool. I did the cheese contest. I'm chill. I checked all the boxes, he said. It's like, it's those guys that turn it into, this isn't a competition. It's just me and you, and these other guys are here. And then when they don't get what they want, they get like tweaked. They're like, I'm getting pissed, honestly.
Do you know who? It's so funny to me. You know who is who I thought did a good and a bad job, where I was like, wow, you're a total douchebag, but you're the kind of like asshole girls just end up liking.
Okay.
Was Stockbroke Boy from West Palm Beach on Gabby's date.
Stockbroke Boy.
When they did
Gabby's date.
West Palm Beach, Florida Boy, when they were doing the dominatrix thing. And the dom is like, I will whip you if you're lying. And she's like, how many have you slept with over 10 women? And
what's his name?
Instead of just going, yeah, he just goes, do you know who I am?
You're talking about
And he's just silent.
Johnny?
He's silent. Let me see the picture. Yes.
Yes.
And she's silent and she goes, 20. And he's like,
He's like,
and she's like, hundreds. And he's like, pumpkin. I would have just been like, there's the door. There's the fucking door, you loser.
But it kind
Why
of
didn't
like,
you just say yes? Like, it's instead of just being like, like, yeah, do you know who you're talking to?
remember they had a one-on-one last week.
Do you know who you're talking to?
I kind of loved it just for the sake of like,
hate it.
I like it because it like, I like that he wasn't, I'm not saying it was a great move, but I do appreciate the fact that he was one of the few guys that wasn't like, this is so awkward. You know what I mean?
so
Like, he
that's what
kind of
I'm saying.
leaned in and was just like, yeah.
That's why I was like, that's why I'm saying he's the kind of like, he's the douchebag asshole girls like that. It's like, you just don't be like, okay, yeah, like you're a fun dude.
right.
But in that moment, you're like, dude, like it's like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like the way you answered it. Like, have you slept with over 10 women? Do you know who I am?
Does a bear shit in the woods?
What?
Well, but dude, we're back at the Bachelor, just like, or the Bachelorette franchise, like, has to do these sexual things.
Okay, the
They
cheese.
literally can't stop being like, let's put these people in sexually compromising positions to make everyone uncomfortable.
This is like so weird to me about like our country of like this sexual insecurity of our like of where we're
like,
at
it's a
with this
big
stuff.
joke that we're talking about penises and
God, dude.
vaginas, and we're talking
Or
about sex, and everyone's like, "Ah!" And it's like they make it that way because of the way they treat it.
The cheese contest, where it's like obviously producers told Rachel to be like, and if you want to take your shirt off, it's okay.
Right.
Now, what was funny as hell to me was the like Dutch women who were there, just like the Dutch cheese ladies watching the men take their shirt off. Were psyched.
Oh, they were cheering. Did you hear everybody cheering?
They were very excited about them taking their shirts off, especially the old women.
Yeah, they were like, finally
They're like-
some action in this
They're
cheese
like,
town.
oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Like, we don't get all the action in the outskirts here in Cheeseville
In Cheeseville, in Cheesetown.
because this is definitely not downtown.
No.
But yeah, Tony, it was interesting to watch him because it was like he was always this kind of like suave, like cool guy. And all of a sudden, even the way he started talking, it's just like, what the fuck's going on? Like,
He's no
what
longer.
am I, I thought he was like this cool suave guy. Now all of a sudden he's like kind of spoiled kid vibes.
He no longer has Twyler energy to me. Speaking of which, actually, I was just thinking of this. Can we check in on Twyler? What's he up to?
I did see that he was dating someone, and
What's
then
his
they
IG
recently
going on
broke
right
up.
now? What's going on with
hold on,
Twyler?
we gotta wrap this. We gotta wrap this recap up.
We can't. Doesn't everyone want to know what's happening with Twyler though? Does everyone get alerts about what Twyler's up to except me?
Oh, we gotta talk about
I just want to see
COVID.
Tyler. This isn't him. 37K. That can't be Tyler.
That's definitely not Tyler.
It's just Tyler. This guy I got to give up to. His account is just Tyler.
Whoa. You know how many people have probably offered him millions for that?
Everyone who's named Tyler looks exactly like someone who would be named
Yes,
Tyler. I'll
Tyler's
just say
very.
that.
I think what happens is that you're named Tyler, and then you turn into a Tyler.
Tyler Cameron, 2.2 million followers.
Dude,
Twyler, dude, my dude is still just Twylering it up. Are you kidding me?
Tyler, dude.
Look at Twyler, dude. What the heck?
Modeling.
Twyler.
Modeling.
And dude, Twyler.
Imagine going from a construction job in like the middle of USA to like being a world famous good looking guy that just like
That's all he's famous for, is just being ridiculously. You know in Zoolander when they're like, what more to life is there than just being ridiculously
him.
good looking? Yeah.
That's him.
That's literally him.
Tyler better not go to a gas station anytime soon.
No, definitely not. Although no, it's really his friends that shouldn't.
Yeah.
And then here he is just on a boat full of girls, just Twylering it up.
Just like, what would that be like?
Cute dog photo, getting kissed by dogs. Just Twyler.
What would it be like to be that good looking to where you just walk around and people go, whoa. Tyler. But just where people go, whoa,
Like,
did
if
you see
the
that guy?
If the James Bond women were men, they'd all be Twyler.
Yes.
Like that's what.
But just like, what would that be like to be like cruising around as a guy and just be like so good looking that like everyone looks at you and just like, whoa, look at that guy. Every guy, every girl, everybody who's just like, whoa, did you see that guy? And then they're just like, would you want to come hang out with us? And hey, you want to come on our boat?
Twyler, can we
and
get your
a book deal?
Can
and
we
like,
get your thoughts on this? And he's like, dude, I love pizza.
and he goes, you know what I always say? Tyler
Loves pizza.
No, and he might be the super smartest guy, but it's more just like, that would be dope. It would be so cool just to be that good looking where people are just like, oh, right this way, sir.
To be ridiculously good looking.
Let's talk about the Logan situation.
How did he get it?
Well, we don't know. We know nothing. All we know is that the way that he came in, the way that Jesse came in was like, Gabby, I'm so sorry to tell you this. This is insane, but something's happened. That's what he said, like, something's happened.
I know.
And he's like, Logan got COVID-19. He's totally fine. Everything's fine. We're just letting you know.
And dude,
Something happened.
I love that she's like, okay, first and foremost, I hope he's okay. It's like all you could tell that was written on Gabby's face is like,
Are you serious?
what next?
Yeah, right.
What next to just plague my Bachelorette experience? What next? Because this is turning out to just be a load of crap.
What I think it is, so I think the conspiracy is this. I think that it's clearly the producers in the show trades off every week. Bad week for Gabby, bad week for Rachel. Bad week for Gabby, right? Last week, Rachel went through it.
Yeah.
Tough roast ceremony. Then Logan comes in and goes, I don't want to be with you, right? They go, well, Gabby had to say goodbye to Nate, but that was her choice. We gotta make her pay this week. It's her week to be in pain. Rachel's having a good week with Zach, having a good week with the other guys.
So do you think they drugged him with COVID?
No, I think my conspiracy must just be that they're like, we have to figure something out with this. So we're just going to tell him that he can't come to there was an issue.
They were like, let's put him on the park bench where there's tell all these people to like just go breathe on him. Like,
no, because here's my thing. They would have done a video camera They would have done a, hey guys, what's up? I'm in my room. I got COVID. I know. Sucks.
You think it's fake?
I don't know, but I'm going, you would have heard from him. He would have posted a video, they would have done a video, been like, hey guys, this is a message from Logan. He just wanted to talk to you, Gabby, and say he's so sorry what happened, or what, there would have been something. But it was just, there's been an occurrence. It's like he got abducted by aliens. So I think they're trying to even the playing field, like always. They're trying to hurt somebody. They're trying to hurt either Gabby or Rachel for the week.
Or they'll make her go through the rose ceremony. Didn't they?
No. Yes. Rose ceremony, but they canceled the cocktail party. Even though
Logan could have just
even though Jesse goes in to tell everyone. So already you're not like quarantining or anything.
No.
And then they do the rose. So it's like, what are we doing here? If you're all going to
do the rose ceremony, why didn't you do the cocktail party? But
Gabby's just sitting there in her dress ready.
Logan can't do the rose ceremony. So remind me what happened. Does he get sent home?
No, you just never hear from him again for right now. He just doesn't exist.
Who did Gabby send home?
Gabby
Does Logan
sent
just get
home,
to float through this because he has COVID? So now he's going to go to hometowns?
No, he marries her. No, I like the idea of because he gets COVID, he goes all the way to the end and then just shows up last day.
Anymore. Yeah.
And he wins just by default.
It's a move.
But anyway, Spencer goes home. But I wasn't shocked by that. I mean, it's kind of like, that's kind of what I saw coming. Wait, what were we
Honestly,
talking
about? This was one of the least traumatic rose ceremonies.
Yeah, just the COVID thing was very suspicious because they didn't even do it in a way that was like, guys, you got COVID. We're going to do a quick lockdown. You know what I mean? It was very weird because it was like, hey guys, he got COVID. Even though I'm talking to you, even though everyone's been around him, even though we've all done this. And then also,
and all of you had to just take like an emergency test right now.
Yeah. And then they would have done some more like, kind of, they would have shown behind the scenes, like figure, but it was just very like, all right, now get back in the room and do our thing and continue. It was really weird. And even the way he walked in, he goes, there's been an occurrence. It's so like, what the fuck? Like,
did I tell you about, I didn't tell you about this, but I had a bachelor dream while I was on the surf trip.
Whoa.
In which I fought Jesse Palmer.
Are you for real?
Yeah. I was a contestant on the show and we had to do a knot tying competition. And we had to do like old Boy Scout knots, but they gave me pieces of wood instead of ropes.
You're like, this is slightly rigged.
And I was like, this doesn't go.
This will be difficult.
And Jesse was like, oh, just like fray it like string cheese or whatever. And I was like, are you an idiot? And
Let's get this straight. You had a dream that you were on the show and you had a competition with Jesse Palmer to tie ropes.
he was hosting it.
And
I was competing against the other contestants.
Okay. They gave you specifically wood.
They gave me wood. Sort of like when they do the photo shoots and everyone else gets a costume and someone else just gets a leaf. You know, and it's like,
oh yeah, or like some guy gets like a beautiful suit and the other guy gets a baby costume.
And so they gave me pieces of wood instead of ropes.
He's like, fray it out, make it like a bamboo, like one of those chairs or something.
And I got stressed out, and I started arguing with Jesse about the impossibility of competing in the competition with sticks of wood, and he told me to peel them into pieces like string cheese. At which point we devolved into wrestling.
Oh, that wouldn't have gone well.
I was championing, and then I was like kicking him in the butt, which didn't bode well for me as a contestant. And then I woke up and I was texting Becca about it, and I was like, just so you know, like I was just like and when I woke up, it was so vivid. I was still like in it emotionally. And I was just like, then I was like deconstructing my behavior on it. And I was like,
you were insecure about the way you acted on a fake show in a fake dream.
I was like, I should have realized that producers were fucking with me. And I was like, even
though it was a dream.
And they got under my skin and I fully cracked. And then like it felt so real that I was almost gonna bring up like I would probably be behaving like Tino on the show. I don't think I'd perform very well.
You'd be like, "Hey, I didn't feel very seen when you made me tie with wood."
I think that they would like I'd be like, "Why are we all holding cheese up?" They would have like put like more like I don't know. They would have just compromised me in some way, and I was just not. I didn't handle it well, and I got like a sneak
what
peek.
else? That happens.
How weird is that? But yeah, I beat up Jesse Palmer in my dream, and that was
Very weird.
Pretty funny.
We should do an episode where we talk about dreams, weird dreams we've had. I've got some weird ones.
Yeah.
Well, we love you guys. We hope you have a great weekend. I'm glad you had a great surf trip. That sounds amazing,
Thank you,
man.
dude.
I want a little trip like that. Can I go on a golf surf
We're
trip?
talking about going to Nicaragua for my
Cool.
Nica trip for my bachelor
That'd
party.
be sick.
May, June-ish.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm there. Even if I'm not invited,
There's
I'm there.
golf courses there too.
Really?
Yeah, we'd be going on the Colorado's beach. So it's like
That sounds
like
amazing.
just good waves in front and then golf courses in the back.
Dude, there would be nothing more epic than like surfing and then golfing.
Surf and turf.
Surf and turf. Ooh. Like that. I just caught it. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. We will see you next week for week 7 of the batch. Whatever random shit we get up to. Peace and love. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Baby back, bitch. Barbecue sauce. Bye, Jetson.